first, we did not want to get vaccinated for moral value purposes, but then as everything started opening up and people, like I said, everything's starting to open up again, we figured it'd probably be safer, especially with the kids going back into public school. And since there's no vaccination for the younger ones, it was just altogether safer for our family and for those around us.
I decided to get vaccinated because I didn't find it feasible for me to go back to the health center every week to get tested if I wasn't going to get vaccinated. So I decided to get vaccinated so that I wouldn't have to find time every week to be tested.
I got vaccinated because the nursing program requires vaccination, so I got it. But I would probably eventually got it anyways, even if I didn't have to. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to die, and I don't want to get people around me to get sick. So.
Initially, there were a lot of isolation, speculation, rumor, fear, frustration, and concerns. People were seeking information and waiting for some good news, I guess, but we were hearing a lot of things from a lot of different sources. I remember problems with ESD filing your unemployment application. I don't know, it seems like a lot of people were having problem, especially with those with language barrier and, technically challenged. But some good things came out as well. There were a lot of people stepping up for help. One of the business owners in the Seattle area, before anyone else did, they distributed masks and stickers for the social distancing, requirement that businesses were required to put on. Many other organizations donating masks, sanitizers, and etc. And like Korean Association were distributing bags of rice to people in need, like undocumented neighbors. So definitely those were some of those moments that we get to see the silver lining in every cloud.
Cool, because if people, like the students here, some of them, when they got symptoms, they would stay home and quarantine themselves. And professors too would quarantine themselves. So I guess that's how one way we're impacted, because we're in person now. It's not really online school anymore, so it feels like it's getting back to normal.
I'm going to speak a little bit on the disability community, and it's been severely impacted by COVID. When COVID first was struck here in Washington State, it's since been updated, and I want to preface that it's been updated. DOH had a policy, Department of Health had a policy that ventilators were going to be prioritized, and those who were severely disabled were not going to be on that priority list, so they would not get life-saving medical. It's also been, really hard because higher rates of people with disabilities have died during COVID throughout the U.S. because a lot of states still have that policy in place that people who are severely disabled are not prioritizing COVID care. When it comes to immune compromisation, you've got those with disabilities that are immune compromised. So they are basically waiting for others to be community mindset of helping others. The other thing that we're looking at is those with disabilities also, have transportation issues. There's also could be language barriers and the fact that ASL interpretation is needed to understand what's going on. So COVID for the disabled community, when it comes to getting vaccinated and medical care, has been very decimating to the community. On the flip side, there's a positive, as in now that everybody's working from home, more people with disabilities were able to find some more employment, and things are starting to become more accessible.
Wearing masks seemed to work. It's inconvenient, it's uncomfortable, no doubt about it. But do we know any other way to deal with this problem? And it's not just about wearing masks, but we need to be good at personal hygiene, right? Wash your hand You have to eat well, exercise, and try to keep your immunization system strong.
Honestly, it's their decision on whether they're comfortable or not. For me, it did feel like it was a safer option, especially with all of Washington, all the states just opening up again. It was just altogether better to take precautions, but like I said, in the end, it's all about whether they're comfortable or not. And if they do decide that they do not want to be vaccinated, then they do have to take extra precautions, just for the safety of the general public.
I like to see people be more accommodating for other people that have some complications for wearing the mask.
Common decency and respect, it seems to have gone out the dang door. I have never seen so many hateful individuals. We have deaf community members who are being attacked because they can't hear and they have face masks. Those in the deaf and hard of hearing community have a hard time communicating because of the masks. We're not seeing a lot of people willing to accommodate and be empathetic to those who are suffering from COVID and not being who are closed off from their community now. And we need to think that overall we're in this together, and how can we make this really terrible situation a little bit better?
Being able to be around people now, just being on campus and meeting everybody, and with that, being vaccinated, there's like this sort of shield, like knowing that you're going to be okay and you don't have to worry about getting anybody else sick.
I just look forward to those small things that we used to be able to do without too much fear or restriction. So I look forward to those days again.